And good day, everybody. Can you hear me okay, Gray?
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Been doing some experimenting in Minecraft. So
Ooh, experiments in Minecraft, huh?
yeah.
The trade secret, not allowed to tell anybody.
No, it's just like I got iron farm, carrot farm, potato farm. Trying to get this wheat farm operational, and it's some mixed results.
All right. Well, to all the two viewers of my channel, this is the Gray Ghost. The Gray Ghost. Okay? Just want everyone to understand it's the Gray Ghost. You should all join his channel and sub to him, donate to him. Anyway, today I thought it'd be interesting to talk about a few things I've been finding, specifically two videos, and this has to do with AI. And that's what you do, right? You talk about AI, its growth, its effect, and how it's going to, theorize around how it's gonna, affect society and all that in large, right?
Yeah, not just the societal impacts, but also the industry interruptions, because there's a whole bunch of markets that AI is producing, and I don't think that it would be improper to say that AI is going to be as big a revolution for media as CGI was.
Okay. So, but do you think it's going to fill in some gaps to make production easier and cheaper?
Absolutely.
So,
Again, like 3D would be the one that I'd point out. Like, for example, Dragon Ball Z and a lot of other anime, you see them using a lot of 3D models these days, right?
mhm.
And that is largely because it's cheaper than trying to do all that animation in 2D.
You got that right. My hands get sore when you sit there and draw for hours and get all those South Korean animators to get paid 15 cents a cell.
Yeah, like it's a royal pain in the butt. And in some ways, is it unfortunate? I'd say so. Like there's one Dragon Ball Z movie with Jamaba, I believe. Like there's a scene where he like teleports away by turning into cubes and whatnot. They've straight up admitted that they would have done that with CGI if they'd had the tech at the time.
Hmm.
But we know it would look so much worse. It's only as good as it looks because they went the extra mile to make it hand drawn. But that's because they had to, not necessarily because they wanted to.
I'll tell you this: doing it hand drawn seemed to pay off. It looks great because you have the more concentrated control over it.
Well, that's the thing. It pays off and it looks great to us. But at the same time, they absolutely would have used like CGI if they'd had the chance. And yes, that would have been absolutely horrible for the long term effects of it. But at the moment, it would have been cheaper.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. This is one of my good friends, Louis McGrath. Louis, this is the Gray Ghost. The Gray Ghost. Okay.
Not a gray ghost, just
No,
the,
the. God,
or
you
the other way
messed up
around.
already.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's all mine. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh
No
yeah.
problem. So Louis is one of my best friends, and he doesn't know anything about the Warband or anything like that. He's just a guy who exists, and he has some perspectives that I think that would be great to kind of hear from the land of the normies, as I say.
The land of the
All right.
normos.
Normos.
I don't feel like I'm a good candidate to be described as a normie myself.
Well, aside from memes and 4chan posts, you don't know anything about the things that Grey Ghost and like Undead Chronic or
Oh
Hammerhands they all
no,
they all,
no.
they all talk about.
I still live under a rock and I'm relatively kind of cut off from what's current events going on around these parts, I should say. I just work full time and spend my free time either playing video games or, well, doing chores to keep myself sane. I feel like that's about a regular thing. That's okay. Maybe that is normie. I don't think about it. I had to say it out. Had to say it out loud to think about it. Although I am strange in some ways. I got bored at work, so I just started doing trig for fun.
Yeah, that's not normal at all.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah.
That's not okay. Well, Now, when it comes down to AI animation, great. What do you know specifically about AI animation that's starting to develop right now? What do you know about that?
I saw one video recently that was apparently almost exclusively produced by AI, and it was fascinating to watch. There's a behind the scenes video I haven't caught quite yet, so I don't know the detail work. But another one, have you seen those Konosuba dancing videos?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
The
like
those ones that are just. I saw one that had the Dark Magician girl, and every frame was CGI or was AI generated.
yeah, exactly those things. Like
Yep.
that's it's really pushing. It's pushing it in an interesting way
I've noticed
because
still two things I have to point out. The two big things. They never get fingers or mouths right. Why is that? Why does AI struggle
okay,
with everything but that perspective?
well, number one, how many artists do you know that can consistently draw hands well?
You have a good point there.
You know,
And
it's.
lips.
I was
I've
just
heard
listening to
lips
your
too.
AI stream this afternoon a bit when you were talking about the hands.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Hands are one of the most difficult things for artists to do on the best of days. It's a lot of small bones in a very specific sense, and quite honestly, we're very sensitive to hands. We use them almost as our secondary means of expression. And I'd say that we probably view them more than we even do faces because we can't see our own face, but we can see our own hands. We know
Well,
what hands look like.
Hey, Sir Yeetus is in the chat. Hail to the yeet!
the yeet.
Yeetus. Pay
All
your
right.
tithes to Sir Yeetus, Louis.
Uh,
Yeah, Yidis was more or less how I got my start on the internet, being a co-host on his shows, and then eventually his chat demanded that I get my own channel, so I
Yeah,
did,
we
and
we
here I am
demand we
today.
demanded right because I was in there wanting more of you, more of you. But yeah, you were you and everybody. That's an awesome group. Louis, you should listen to them. You should subscribe to the Grey Ghost. Everyone should subscribe to the Grey Ghost and Yeetus. It's good to have you, Yeet. We're just kind of discussing a bit more about what are the potentials that we see AI animation doing. Because if it's going to be a cutting corners kind of thing, a lot of animators are going to either have a great time being on their own, producing mass, or a lot of quality is going to dip in the major industries like in Pixar, Disney, and
oh
Illumination
yeah.
Studios and stuff like that. So we might be
All right.
getting more content faster, but at a cost.
Well, okay, well, here's one thing. So, backgrounds in anime, right?
Mm.
They are usually very detailed, but most backgrounds are not significant to the plot.
Okay.
AI helps with this because you can create a highly detailed, very believable background, and it's only going to be on screen for like a couple seconds, if that. And it doesn't need to be animated, it's really just going to be a flat image for panning. But if you were to make such a thing by hand, oh god, it would take ages.
Yeah, one of the troubles when it comes down to it is backgrounds, especially if you're making a short cartoon. Hell, in SFM, just making 3D assets just for a background is going to last a second as you're trying to establish, a scenery takes a long time. So if AI can eliminate that process, all you need to do is really focus on character movement and just animating the characters themselves and the script and we're basically just like, okay, I don't ever need to worry about background. So that's like half of an animation,
Well, that's the
really.
thing. It's not that you won't need to worry about them. It's that now all of the like at the very least C grade backgrounds. Like if we were to take backgrounds for like A grade, like those are your showpiece backgrounds. Like you want to do that introductory shot to set up a location. Yeah, okay, that's gonna matter.
Mhm.
Like, and then you've got your B grade stuff, and that'd be more not even an expansive thing, but kind of like where there's a lot of time spent on that background. Maybe it's not particularly significant, and like maybe it's more of a talking heads or a fighting scene. Like, that is probably going to need some degree of customization to get the composition right, if
Yeah.
nothing else. But
I
then
could
there's
see it
this.
so much simpler for background characters, though.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
To answer the question, Sir Yedis, yes.
Oh, am I coming through still?
Yeah, I'm hearing you just fine. But yeah, Cyrus just cut out for a second there.
You just dipped out? Yeah. No, I was kind of fascinated with 2 examples recently where I saw someone had animated a Will Smith eating spaghetti clip and one of uh, octopus and cooking it and eating it with other people, and it looked beyond horror. Like just it was a horror show. Each one of them. I'm glad we can still identify what is purely AI generated,
Hello?
but hey,
Hello?
there you are. You're back.
You
Hello?
say that,
Okay, now my
but
audio from my headset is gone. My
Oh no.
God, what the hell
double
happened?
check.
Give me a second, Gare.
Geez.
Yeah.
He won't be able to. He won't be able to hear us. But okay, you say that, but I'm willing to bet that I've got a couple pictures in my archive right now that you would need to look at for an extended period of time before you realize that they were AI generated.
Well, experience tells me just look face, hands, and teeth, and anything
Okay,
in
can you
the
guys hear me okay?
no, the background is usually pretty solid for AI. I gotta say, it's got that well, because it just takes other examples of things and throws them together. 'Cause the concept of
Okay.
AI is just
Am I here? Can you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah.
I
Okay.
can hear you.
I have no idea. I think my PC decided to have a schizo attack. Ugh. Discord added my microphone as a headset and my headset as a microphone.
Hmm.
The old
The
switcheroo.
AI is taking over.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
like here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna post something in the Discord.
I really wanted to real quick. Louis, you were talking about those 2 animations we were talking about. I want to show the audience real quick what we're talking about because I have them right here.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
It'll
Just
pop
tear.
up on the stream in just like 30
Are you
seconds.
sure this action will scare off the hose?
It has already scared off all the hoes. Me just being here scared off the hose as intended. So I guess I got caught off when I was telling Sir Edis about it. Yes, I'm a Peridot fan. I'm not a fan of Steven Universe. I'm saving that for another stream about talking about how horrible Steven Universe is.
Oh no.
Okay,
I
well,
love me a little green mean machine.
let's be honest. Peridot is just Rule 63 Invader Zim.
Hey, you know what? That's fair. You've given me so much ammunition just now.
the Zussi.
But they already had the female invader with the what was her name?
No. She was just discount Hot Topic. I don't know.
No. TAC was actually Rule 63, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, another property by Yonan
God.
Vasquez.
Just
Yeah, that guy.
the unnatural movement of those frames, just hair raising.
Well, we're not done yet. Here's another of psychotic Mad Lad. This is Trump. I think the prompt for this. I'm not sure what program it is. This is Trump cooking and eating an octopus. I think I have it on.
Yeah, the audio is
this was
just
posted to
ghost
Reddit.
whistling. It's not even anything like audio generated.
This is the full one. Trump swimming and capturing an octopus. The octopus is so like what's the word? H.P. Lovecraft style. It's so.
It looks claymation almost.
Eldritch.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in Skyrim when I see this crap.
You know, this is the kind of thing that I've always wondered about Eldritch stuff. It's like, okay, we see this stuff in video. I think there's enough of our disconnect for our brains to realize this isn't real. But imagine seeing this in real life.
It's just walking.
Seeing this in real life, you'd be like, is the apocalypse happening? Am I going crazy? That would be the first thoughts. Would be like, are you going crazy?
The chef thing never fails to get a laugh out of me. And then like you see like in some frames the hand like conjoins with the knife a bit.
Like, I know this is just a pure automated sort of like prompt for the thing to like make the frames and all that, and it's like very jumbled and there's so much. It's like chopped together. The quality's horrible, but this is just the beginning. And do you think this could be used to um for like if you want to paint your political opponent or anybody that you do not like, once it becomes refined as false information?
Can honestly just
Um,
scare people away from that person.
well, here's the thing. I've already seen it be used for that with still images of Trump being arrested.
Right.
And that's it's enough that for the people who have attention spans in the single digits of seconds, it's enough to convince them. Like you put it down there when they're scrolling through an article, yeah, like it would convince them.
The most simple-minded IQ, room temperature IQ person would be like, "Oh, that's real."
Yeah,
And
you
like,
know,
Hey
so you
man,
know,
no one would ever lie on the internet. Come on.
well, that's the thing. Like the target audience for people writing about politics on the internet, yes, it would absolutely fool them.
damn.
And then but here's the thing. Then all it takes is one of those people to be like an intern or an editor at a larger news station. And then they just have to broadcast that on the television for 5 seconds or so, presenting it as real. And it's like that saying, the truth, like a lie will get halfway around the world while the truth is still putting its pants on.
Oh.
That is scarily accurate. And if you don't have if it's not just going to be stills and pictures, I mean, I saw the stuff that you were showing with Sandman. That stuff looks scary real.
Well, now, okay, yeah, actually, because here's the thing. Sorry, I forgot your friend's name.
Louis.
Louis. Yeah,
I
here.
speak for him.
Yeah, here. I'm gonna put this in I'm gonna put this in Discord, Louis.
All right.
You got to be honest. You got to be honest.
Okay. Here we go. All right. That at first glance looks very real. The background looks like an actual city. The shadows and the building are just fine. There's the the shadows are the same in the pillar on the left side. The face on the girl looks normal. Wait, no, the ear is way too forward now. What the hell? Is this all AI generated? Every last bit of it?
100% AI.
Okay, it got every detail except for the ear being almost like side face front shaped. The shoulders are within, obviously. Yes, the boobs look normal. The AI has gotten the chest down just fine.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like it's close enough that if you were just browsing through Instagram, you wouldn't question that for a second.
God damn it, Lenny. Sorry, another guy in the chat is like spamming and thinking we're talking to him.
Yeah.
Talking about the guns.
What do you think this is going to do to hentai artists?
Oh, I actually have a cousin that, well, okay, he's on the
Okay.
gay side of things, but he is not a fan of the AI generated art. He hates it with a passion.
He hates it because it's taking
It's
away
bad.
his work, or does he hate it because it's working for him and he hates that it works for him?
So, well, right now there's still the whole hands thing and all that, but if you get some shots of hands being out of frame, it looks very good, high quality almost. And for him, that feels unfair because he spends hours and hours drawing and sweating over it and second guessing himself, saying, "No, this this arm doesn't look quite right distance," and he has to redraw the whole thing and all that, and just the whole struggle of coming to terms with your own art. And then there's just someone that just types in a sentence and then hits enter, and boom, they got 20 images to choose from. There's almost a
Okay.
I,
Well,
I
in
don't.
that case, here would be my suggestion to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to learn how to use the tool.
Yeah.
Because if that's how he thinks how easy it is, he is wrong. So that right away tells me he doesn't know, he's never actually used the tool itself.
Yeah.
And two, he will see the more he uses it, he will see where he can carve out the niche. Because it's one thing to just do a generic image. It is quite another if you need any sort of specific details.
How many prompts do you have to write out for that, or is that just a? Because I'm used to like I've dabbled in only. Let's see, there was that one that is for writing novels that it just you write a sentence and then it prompts a little short story that also has a thing that generates images based on that. And then there was what was that one called where it would just generate any I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was like something draw or whatever. Crayon or let me see.
Great. Okay, here. I will actually put the prompts in Discord right now that I used for that specific image.
All right, let's see. Oh,
This is Nova. You use Nova AI, right?
No, I'm using Stable Diffusion.
Okay, Stable Diffusion. You're the one who showed me Nova AI, and that was useful.
Novel AI, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, Novel AI is great.
it
Yeah,
has to even use the type of camera. That's the Fujifilm. That's crazy.
That's it's variations to get more and more specific stuff for like films, lenses. It really depends what model you're using as well. Like I have different presets of dozens of different both positive and negative prompts, each that are best utilized for specific models, which are like so what a model is a trained AI on a certain set of images with a certain number of tags on those images. So I
Gotcha.
can't. So I'm going to have a harder time using, say, all the anime style models that primarily work off of the Danburu and Gelburu tags, like Novel AI. But if
Yeah.
I'm using something that's largely based off a more image, like photo based image set, something
Yeah.
like this works.
Okay, real quick, just want to address chat. Chaz, thanks for joining. We got the Jungle Frog. Hey, and Lego My Ego. And everyone's from the Warband. Thanks for joining. Appreciate y'all. Let's see here. I have a question for you, Gray. When it comes down to, I think one of these guys, yeah, the Jungle Frog said deep fake is scary. Is deep fake a sort of AI, or is that just somebody using a mocap basically to capture facial features in order to front as somebody else, kind of like with the Joe Biden and Skyrim that was going on?
Uh, Deepfake largely works to like CGI replicate an image so that it's entirely believable. There's been even some actual image footage of Joe Biden where people have suspected it's deepfake because like his mouth moves in a slightly weird way, like it twists into its new shape too smoothly, and people are wondering, like, are they deep faking Joe Biden speaking here?
Oh,
That
makes
could
me.
be.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think of it like advanced Photoshop for video.
Damn. The tech is just exploding faster and faster. It's like every other week, there's something that's just coming out that's being refined and or new that's being introduced. I mean, this AI stuff started building up in like the last, I'd say, year is the when I started paying attention to it.
No, exactly. Like literally, one of the YouTube channels I follow that goes into AI, like every week there's something new. Like the latest one, which I need to look into now, is Vicuna, which I don't even know the details of it, but it's apparently 90% the power of Chat GPT, entirely local on your computer.
Jeez.
Oh, I love those president's AI voice things. I saw a couple of those.
No,
They're
that's
playing Minecraft or something.
no, that's 11 Labs. I have like 11 Labs set up in a whole bunch of voices, including some dead people
Yeah, you
saved.
just.
No, like,
So
that's its own thing.
how
No,
many hours of them talking does it take to get a very convincing like? So say you have like a 2-hour speech of John F. Kennedy. You go and just throw that in. Will it get a pretty good impression going on?
you need at least, but probably not much more than 1 minute of clean audio.
Oh, so no graininess, nothing. So you can't really do anything old timey. You can't have FDR or anything like that then?
It took a bit of effort, but I was able to get MLK.
Oh, all right. What about I have a very big fondness for Frank Sinatra and a lot of his old stuff. I mean, they have remastered stuff too, so I guess that
That's
could
the thing,
work.
like if you can get 1 minute of clean audio of him talking, like maybe 2 minutes, but more than 5 minutes, and you're really not getting much.
Yeah.
Like if you can get 1 to 5 minutes of clean audio footage, then yeah, like the voice can be replicated to a fairly believable extent. Certain accents will be harder than other ones because it was mostly trained on English speakers, but that's really just a matter of waiting for people to improve and develop the AIs further.
Hey, great. Isn't the inflections like the sort of like it seems monotone when they're talking, and that's an easy indicator of AI talking?
Well, in a certain case, yes, but much like the images, it entirely depends on like what was used as sources. For example, if you wanted to have Donald Trump speaking in normal tone versus Donald Trump shouting, you could just create 2 separate voices to create the different intonations.
And just edit it in audio or Audacity or something like that, and just get it to connect.
Yeah.
If there was oh, I'm talking, oh my god, yeah, something like that, that could be connected that way. So that's interesting. You would have to look for the segments that were spliced.
Yeah, it's really a matter of like you can get more refined details, but it's how much effort you put in.
Ooh, let me segue into something real quick. That just sparked an idea. You two ever heard of anyone? The original VTuber named Kizuna AI, right? That one
Yep.
that was based off of it, the
No,
idea of
I
AI, but
never heard
wasn't.
of that, Louis. I don't watch that.
All right. Well, for all the weebs out there, that was the OG. And when she graduated, they released a voice pack, like a Vocaloid pack, like Hatsune Miku, but a much more in-depth one that has vocal inflections that are much more smooth and crisp. And people have been able to use this to actually make songs that don't sound choppy and don't and in multiple languages as well. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
And one thing that I'm actually working on is I'm going to get Hammerhand, who's decently popular in our sphere, like kind of a.
Decently,
I guess you.
he's
I
like
guess
the
you.
most popular. I love
Yeah.
that man.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to extract his AI voice and then use auto tune stuff in FL Studio to make him actually sing.
You
There you go.
madman! You know he doesn't sing. He says it all the time. You've
Well,
got mad
yeah.
with power, Gray.
Oh, absolutely. I've gone mad with power. This stuff
Next,
makes
you're
you
gonna
go mad with power.
you're gonna make him say, hey, maybe you should get married. You should go out there and start doing a Dave Ramsey. My bootstraps. He just slowly metamorphoses on screen towards Dave Ramsey. I'm like, the imposter of Babylon. He has
Maybe-
returned.
Maybe for next April Fools as an elaborate prank.
Oh, jeez. That'd be awesome. I could do like the editing metamorphosis of Hammerhand, just like, Animorphs, where the picture that turned the turn from an animal to
That is
human.
the OG AI generated images, man. Those mix between
Animorphs?
like the one girl that turns slowly into a horse and all the frames in between that just kind of haunt you as you come back from the local library.
Yeah, you just see that on the it was just like going to the library. It's like looking at the freak show sometimes. It's just like, what the hell are these books?
That
I own those books. I had the freak show at home.
Oh,
God.
jeez.
You must have been one of those kids. It's like,
I was gonna go on a whole tangent about how it probably gave someone a fetish, but now we have a candidate.
oh man. So the streams that I do, Gray, I kind of like to talk about these kinds of like animation and creativity and the theories about like what's going to happen with certain like shows. This morning me and Louis did talking about the new Spider-Verse trailer that got released, and we found stills about protect trans kids and hashtag BLM all over the place. So, with Disney and Marvel and all that going down the drain, DreamWorks kind of like coming out of the ashes, what do you see going on when it comes to, well, I think Hammerhand on Pop Culture Rocks talked about how AI voice could be used for certain actors that they're trying to kind of scrub out, but leave the character in place, especially if the character wears a helmet, like the main Mandalorian in season 3, where he wasn't even part of the show. Would you say that, like, I need a voice actor for like a new upcoming DreamWorks show, and I don't want to pay him, I just want to pay for his voice, so I'll pay less for a AI generated animation voice actor?
I'd say that's where the lawsuits are going to start coming out.
And then it'll kind of like settle in what's acceptable and what's not.
Yeah, because like at the very least, if you're going to take Pedro Pascal out of the Mandalorian, you have to take him out of the credits.
Okay.
Like,
And you're using his likeness in order to make that character. People are going to have an image in their head about the character. So it's not like they could probably get away with like maybe some lines here and there, but subtly they're going to like try and overtake the industry with it, like they are with I think with their messages of on the left and all that trans stuff being in the background now, sort of in the trailers. I mean, I assume like in the movie it's going to have it at some point. They're going to mention real life politics, which I have no interest in my cartoons whatsoever, but they're going to do that anyway.
Yeah. Well.
So they're going to put it in the background so that it's looming over you like a cancer in the back of the skull.
Precisely. Well, that's the. I think that when it comes to using real living actors, the main thing is there's going to be lawsuits coming out, like left, right, and center, because what I heard, it was several years back, but apparently someone did really good Morgan Freeman impressions.
Oh yes,
and I believe Morgan Freeman Well, no, not a Z Frank, I think, but no, this guy.
Z Frank. I love that guy.
No, this guy was actually. This one guy was apparently actually having legal action pursued against him for using Morgan Freeman's voice. He was being pursued by Morgan Freeman.
Huh. Trademark a voice. What if Morgan Freeman passes away? Who are we going to have narrate all the March of the Penguin movies?
Well, no, I heard that what they're doing now is they're actually trying to create a super realistic David Attenborough's voice to archive it so that he can continue to narrate BBC even after he dies.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I want a catalog. I want voice packs of just Morgan Freeman narrating you getting from your home to your work or something, and instead of saying turn left here, it's just
on GPS.
Yeah. GPS voice packs.
That sounds like the laugh tracks that they developed in the 50s. That's still being used to like this day.
Yeah,
like dead people's.
Yeah, dead laughter.
Well, here's the thing. One of my favorite voice actors of the 90s is Tony Jay. He's been dead for a long time.
Tony Jay.
So, okay, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes.
Judge Frollo.
Yes, and Khan. No, not Khan. Is he? No. Yeah. Yeah. He's got a huge idea. He was Monsieur Dacry. I'm just looking him up real quick for people who don't know. Yeah. This is the voice actor, the Shere Khan.
Yeah, Shere Khan. Yeah, but one of the main. He did a lot of stuff. He's one of those voice actors who his voice, but you had no idea.
Oh God, Spiderus from the stupid. Oh God, that show gave me nightmares when that guy came on screen. Oh,
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Spiderus, the most cursed animation 3D I've seen in my life. I had nightmares of this character.
Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Friends. Are you talking about that one? That looks pretty.
The one with the freaking. They had somebody was either too horny making this character or wanted to scare kids without having to lose their job. And that's how Spiderus was created. I know they were following the book, but God, can't you take some liberties and look at your own creations before you release them to the public and scar a bunch of kids?
You're losing me here, Spiderus.
Just look on the screen. But yeah, it looks like he was he looks like he was the villain from Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Kids.
Oh, what is that thing? It looks like a mime.
Here's the funny thing. This actually is a good segue into where I think AI is going to have impacts on the industry, because this was early, cheap CGI. This is the niche that I think AI is going to fill in.
It looks like a 4chan shit post. It scares me.
A Pokemon card of it. Jesus Christ.
There's a Pokemon card? Hold on, what?
I can't. I'm like seriously like creeped out by this character design. There's just certain characters like the man-made horrors of beyond our comprehensions aren't going to end now that AI is, probably going to make 20 more of these freaks.
Well, if I have anything to say about it, yes.
No, Greg. Please.
Yeah. You will learn through talking to me to never reveal the shit that gives you nightmare fuel, because that's the kind of stuff I'm going to send you at 2 in the morning.
Well, I got a text from Greg. Oh, my eyes! Scare the hell out of me.
Locust has learned that the hard way, that I will just send him the most cursed shit.
Hey, let's see that Pokemon card. I'm curious to see what's the
Look it
stats
up on your
on
own
it.
stream, Louis.
It won't give me it. It doesn't bless me with the hit, whatever the prompts were for it. It's not giving it to me. It's like, hey, this guy.
Just look on the stream. I put it on the stream for everyone to be sodomized with their eyes.
You see, this is why I have that SpongeBob clip. You got to have muscles on your eyeballs. It was so applicable.
You should do the one where it's like Team Neptune's like, my eyes. Are you happy, Louis? There's your nightmare fuel.
I found worse by typing in the prompt Spider-S Pokemon card. There is.
Now here's the thing.
There is a heavily pregnant man and a heavily pregnant, and he's snuggling with another one. I don't like that.
I know Grey Ghost talks a big game when it comes to threatening me with stuff, but
Spider-S attack.
Louis knows, like, he's the psychopath who browses 4chan and sends me shit that I do not need to see in my life.
And you brought him in as the normie representation.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm not the candidate. I mean,
you caught me. I'm full of lies.
Yeah.
My entire life is a lie.
Let me just point out this detail about myself. I have in college written a peer-reviewed journal paper, an article about cyberbullying, and in that I quoted things as a valid source of 4chan. I interviewed some guy in high school that was talking about 4chan lingo, and I had to present this in a class of 40 people, and it was one of the most beautiful and confusing things I've ever seen to date.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of curious.
I had to explain what a normal, well, I guess I can say fag, I guess, in this context.
No, you cannot.
No, you cannot.
All right, blur that out.
This is YouTube, man.
But he said it with the PH, Gray.
PH. All right.
Yeah,
you were a new fun word if you were new to it and didn't know the lingo, and you were an old fun word if you already knew all that stuff, and you only got to be an old fun word if you were to lurk. So there's always that joke of lurk more. So that's the whole culture of it, is just you shit on each other.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's understandable in other contexts. You hang out long enough, you learn what's acceptable, what's not, what lines you cross and what you don't. But first, you have to spend years of observation. You can't just jump in and start imitating, otherwise everyone looks at you like an idiot.
Yeah. That's where people can see OP is a new fun word.
This is why I only lurk. I never post or talk to anybody. I just see what's the information available. I don't do well jumping into groups or anything like that unless I'm really serious about the message.
Yeah, so. I was only curious because I had to go on about the concept of anonymity and the idea that since you're not directly, your face is not being seen as the perpetrator behind what your actions are, that people psychologically have a better chance of doing things they wouldn't, because they don't feel like they would get hit with the consequences of their actions, because who's it going to hurt? And in this, it enabled people to say, like that famous example of that Mountain Dew contest where they were going to release a green apple flavor, and they were like, hey, name the Mountain Dew. And
yeah, we had H-Man did nothing wrong, all that.
Yeah, and Granny Green Apple Splatter was the #1 choice. I'm only bitter about that because I love green apples. So
look, I stopped drinking sodas 10 years ago.
Hey, I love it.
I do not care.
Actually, I just looked up this quote. Oscar Wilde: "Give a man a mask, and he'll tell you the truth."
There you go. That you know what, that would have been better than all that research I put into it. But it's funny that I now, since that was a published article, other people can quote me and all that for 4chan research purposes if they want to, in a
Well,
actual
yeah.
academic
Well,
sense.
well, let's be honest. The only people who would do that are journalists with integrity, and there are none of those left.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Ugh. This is why I didn't really stay in college. I left as soon as me and Louis built our PC together, and I'm just like, I can just get all the animation software. I don't have to go to class. He's like, yeah. I'm like, whoa.
You don't have to take all of my thumb drives and use them as RAM.
I was a desperate man trying to play.
Like
I bought
20
a
thumb
200
drives, and he burned them all out because I taught him how to do that.
I filled every port.
It's like that one meme with the spy from TF2 with just cigarettes in his mouth.
Yeah, basically. I had like a $200 PC. Got by until we were like, you just use your tax returns to make the PC you want. I'm like, really? Huh. Damn. Well, AI on the rise. Generations are happening now, and tech is just flowing through so fast. I can barely keep up with it. I mean, Gray, you could barely keep up with it.
Yeah.
If I
Like
can reach
maybe
back
if
to a previous topic, if that's all right, if I can interrupt.
yeah,
Uh, One of you mentioned, I think it was anime or whatever in backgrounds, and one thing I remember was a show that I really loved was Overlord. That's got a very interesting premise, very captivating. Season 2 kind of dip, but 3 and 4 they got it back up.
Isn't that just a retelling of Sir Ida's Overlord? He's like the skeleton guy, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it has a lot of really good action moments, but then when they have big scale battles, they just throw in this 3D animation software, and it just looks out of place and jarring and almost juxtaposition wise. It doesn't fit the theme, and it looks terrible. It looks so out of place. So I'm hoping that they do use this AI generated stuff to come up, like they take a bunch of their concept art and they throw it at the AI. It learns, okay, this is the style they want me to use to make these background characters. I could see things cutting costs while also keeping the theme together.
Well,
'Cause-
here's the thing. Overlord season 3. Like, do you remember the adorable baby goats?
Oh, I'm gonna have to rewatch it now. Dang.
No, they were kind of the climax of season 3. When I say
Oh
adorable,
yes. Now I remember those things that were eldritch beings. They weren't
the
adorable.
dark young,
Yes.
yes, but they're called the adorable baby goats. So
No,
and
they look like
Lord
death elephants. Come on.
precisely.
I
But
have
here's the thing.
no idea what any of you guys are talking about. I just know what I see on memes when I browse iFunny.
All
Yeah,
right. All
okay.
right.
So anyway, point being, they basically have the feet of goats, but everything else is like eldritch horror.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect to use AI to animate.
I would have liked that because it still had like a weird. It didn't have the same color tones. It didn't have the same gradients. It didn't have even the same shading as everything around it. So it just stood out very unnaturally, which I guess to
So,
the
Louis, what's it called again? What are these things called?
Overlord. But yeah,
to put
the
it
baby goats Overlord.
Lord, what are these goats? Goats, you said?
Baby goats. I don't know.
baby goats.
Baby goats.
Alternatively, look up dark young.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys watching?
Everything.
It involves both hooves and tentacles. I'll let your mind do the rest.
Yeah.
I gotta show the audience this what you guys are talking about, because yeah, this is some fuck.
Oh, yeah, I
Jeez.
pulled it up too, and it says baby ghost done right. Like if that was AI generated, like that is crisp and beautiful. Like I would have enjoyed that in the show. I hope that the industry picks up on this as a tool, because if I'm thinking of the basis of AI, it's just
And they're like
a learning
they're the
network,
size
a
of
neural.
mountains.
Yeah, they are.
No, but here's the thing. I think that would be perfect to animate in the same way that we have a bunch of these, like, animations right now. Like, where everything is shifting and inconsistent. That's perfect for an eldritch being.
Yeah, I could like the what we just saw with the octopus and Trump. that look like something that could be generated and animated easier and like more like inconsistent to kind of give you that unbalanced feeling when you look at it.
Like it
Because
really
we
would have looked like something summoned from beyond the bounds of reality, fourth dimensional things popping in and out of existence.
Actually, you raise a fair point there. In a lot of shows or whatever, they have particle effects when they do spells or something like that. Could AI be used to just generate particle effects for shows? I mean, if it struggles with hands and feet, whatever, but it probably does amazing for shapes. So why not that?
Yeah, precisely. That's the thing. Like people are so caught up on what it's being used for right now. I genuinely think more people need to learn to use the tools and use them. And not just with the mid-journey stuff where they're creating like interesting concept art. And that does it looks good. It's nice to see various properties reimagined into another genre. But
someone did a Harry Potter with Miyazaki style, like
yeah, yeah,
that
and
looked
then there's
really
been a
good.
bunch of stuff as like Metroid, but it's a dark fan, but it's like an '80s sci-fi or Dark Souls as an '80s dark fantasy movie. Like it looks good.
Well, I used God,
Novel
Novel.
Nova,
AI.
novel. God damn it, my inflections suck. I have like lockjaw, but yeah, that AI. I use that for like D&D, like or RPGs and stories for my IRL friends that like want to know like maybe a quick instead of doing a quick sketch or something, we just plug it into the AI and just it does it faster and we just get a better understanding of how the character looks.
Yep.
Um, it's
I,
very useful for that. And I think right now, instead of trying to be like your cousin Louis, where you want to get rid of AI and it's bad and it's like, look, it's here. The tech is not going anywhere. In
oh,
fact, it's going to.
it's not a frustration of that. It's a frustration of him working hard and then just seeing that someone else can just like there
Well,
can
my
be a
point.
great writer, but what's stopping me from going on that website, paying the fee, and then just generating, I don't know, let's say Steve Harvey and Dr. Phil fan fiction. What's stopping me from doing that? That is a cursed
Nothing.
Well,
idea. But what's stopping me?
well, here's the thing. Nothing is stopping you, but why would you, as an amateur, be able to do it better than someone who has years of experience under their belt?
Yeah, that's the I
That's the
think
thing.
the
If it is so powerful a tool that an amateur can do stuff that is passable and acceptable, why can't someone who has years of experience in the field do something significantly better and use it as a major jumping off point?
yeah. And even then, you could
Because
just take
like
the prompted images, throw them into Photoshop, and just do some fixes on the hands yourself.
because
Tailor it.
like, exactly, because here would be an alternative argument. ArtStation, Pinterest, conceptart.org, all these, like the internet search in of itself, where you have access to a worldwide archive of information, like all sorts of reference images sourced from all sorts of artists from all over that you can tailor and customize. Does he get upset that people don't have to like handcraft all their stuff anymore, that everyone's just being super derivative by copying off of what's popular, and no one just has a bunch of real life reference books that they're painstakingly trying to translate? No, of course he's not going to bitch about that because that's normal to him. This is only weird because it's new and he doesn't understand how to use it.
Yep.
Hmm.
There's been
The
advances in this.
tools, the tools that we have nowadays are just going to go further beyond, as to quote Goku, and we need to not. I would say for artists, stay. What's the word? Abstain from it. Out of, oh, I worked my ass off for it. You need to incorporate it, and hopefully, it can make you better or more efficient in your whatever medium you're using.
And it absolutely can. We know it can. It's just a matter of you gotta like learn how to use this new tool.
Right. This is in a sense this is humanity every step of the way. This is something where Like the automobile. Did people get mad at the automobile because it was scaring the horses? And it's like, you know, we need to get rid of it. And there was probably some people who were like that, who were like, hey, we got this new technology that is going to improve travel and distance. You shouldn't be like, oh, we need to stay with what we have now. And the problem is that it's just going so fast that people are just legitimately not ready for it.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be harder for them.
Like the issue with hands, like there's already extra things that you can add to the AI to give it better hands. Like, do I know how to use it? No, not yet, because I'm doing too much. I can't keep on top of it all. Like, even if you had artists as your full-time job, it would be difficult to keep up. So I get the difficulty of it. But at the same time, this is like the latest tool, and you need to learn how to use it or you will be left behind.
Right. Like, I like the doodle. I'm not really necessarily a good artist. I never want to see myself as a good artist because then I'll lock myself on a certain, you know, plateau.
Oh, there's always room to grow. I'll remind you all the time.
I like to doodle. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Louis. That's right. The inspiration and draws a pickle. You're like, it's not pickle enough.
Taste the paper.
Be the paper. No, I like to doodle and I like to get simple ideas out efficiently, you know, and to use AI for like maybe to help with backgrounds or maybe to give me more reference points or to edit and put in. It's going to be an accoutrement to me.
Well, I would also see it as rather than going on and looking up a whole bunch of reference images, you plug in your prompts into the AI and have it generate your reference images and your loose ideas ahead of time. Like rather than spending hours upon hours refining concept sketches and images, like if you take, say, 15 minutes to put together a rough sketch, you can generate 5 images in the same time with AI and get a wide variety of different prompts and results.
Now, when it comes to animation itself, when you're doing frame by frame, are you able to control that with AI? Like when it comes down to like the individual frames that you want as much control over. If I have a keyframe here, a keyframe there, and all the in-betweens I need to make sure are consistent, would AI be able to generate something that's, you know, very consistent for me?
Well, that is where image to image comes in. Let's see. It'd probably be easiest to do something as an example here. I do have my AI running. Send me an image.
Okay.
We'll just do a quick. We'll do a
No,
live.
he asked me, not you, so don't you even dare. I know what you probably send.
I wouldn't send Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I'm gonna see, what was that one AI website? What was it called? Cray or whatever.
Crayon with an AI in the name.
Okay,
Crayon.
I sent you an engineer.
What do I want
through the sky?
Perfect. Okay.
On the dispenser.
Okay.
Maybe his great grandfather. Thank you for joining. Thanks to everybody coming in. 40 views. This is the most I've ever had. On somebody.
All right.
Oh, somebody left. Nobody.
There you go.
All right. So let's see. So put in say sky background.
Dr. Phil summons Cthulhu. I'll let you guys know what comes up.
What?
Hard hat. Machine. Flying. All right, and then I'll add in a whole bunch of the negative prompts just to improve general quality of the image.
So what does the negative prompts do exactly?
Negative prompts are basically put in as a way to be like, okay, don't use images that have this. So, like, do I want to avoid stuff that is overtly cartoony? Do I want to avoid stuff that has bad anatomy so that it's not saying, oh yeah, hey, this horrific spider monster with a 3-foot long neck. Yeah, that's what a regular human looks like. Let's use that as reference.
I mean, you got pearly things, so yeah. That
So
sounds
these
about right.
AI pull up just internet images and just compile a, I would say like an average of what you would expect.
Hey guys, I gotta go for just a second. I'll be right back.
No, actually, No, actually, it doesn't pull up stuff from the internet. It has a whole bunch of images that it has been trained on by a human. It's not going 100% onto the internet autonomously. What I'm using right now, it's entirely offline. I can use this with no internet connection whatsoever.
All right, the Dr. Phil Cthulhu thing was a bust. It just pulls up. I guess there's a lot of people named Phil that are doctors. All right, maybe I wasn't specific enough.
Yeah. All right. So I've just given some very basic ones here. But what I can do when I translate one image to another is affect a slider called the denoising strength. And that basically says how faithful to the original image do you want it to be.
Oh, so you can give it some freedom. You can tighten up the leash on, well, creativity, which
Right.
Yeah.
I think I remember doing that for one of my friends who was asking for some pictures to reference, and
Yeah.
that's yeah.
So like this is just some very simple prompts with a 0.5 on the denoising strength.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Right.
To
And then of
everyone in
course,
chat, it's got the hard hat. It's got the person's body, and the dispenser looks like a rocket.
yeah. Now what'll end up happening is I'll look at that and I'll go, okay, is there anything missing that I should add? So now I've added gloves, and I'm also taking the denoising strength down to 0.3 rather than 0.5. Generate a fresh one. We'll just wait for it to pop something out. And so this
wow.
one's going to be incredibly faithful to the original image.
I should probably.
Yeah. So, all right.
I'm just trying to show the audience exactly.
Yeah. So this one right here is 0.3 on the scale. And I made sure to add the gloves.
So this is the original reference here, guys. This is the one Gray did on the first example. And this is the next one he did on, you said scale 5?
Yeah. Scale 5.
Okay. So I got the gloves in, and it's hiding. I think it's having an easier time doing hands underneath gloves because it kind of looks like a mitten.
Yeah, no, like this.
To be fair, I drew your character with mittens for the stream. So
Yeah, no, like that right there, that's actually 0.3 on the scale.
Oh, it's 0.3. Okay.
Yeah, so now I'm going to do a 0.7 on the scale, but not change any of the prompts from the 0.3.
All right.
Gotcha. And this is all from the original image here, guys. And then this was the first one he did here, and then this is the most recent one here.
I'm saying the gloves and the dispenser look a little more similar.
Love engineer.
Yeah, if I was to
Playing
take it
MIDI.
all the way down to the bottom, then it'd basically just give you the exact same image. Now, what I found is a really interesting side effect is that if you take the scale down very low and you have the prompts very consistent, what you can actually do is a realistic Photoshop merge. So perhaps the best example of that I had was when I gave Eliza Blue, if you remember her from the controversy a while back, I gave her Jack Murphy's beard.
Yes, I think I remember that. That was yeah. What happened to her? Is she like? Did she get launched into the sun or something?
Probably.
Like in Invader Zim, where he launches the chicken into space and you just see it go towards the sun.
Yeah. All right, so that latest image right there, that's at 0.7 denoising strength. So you can see it's deviated a lot from the original.
Oh, I see it. It's got a plane in the background. Where the hell did it save? It just disappeared.
It got swallowed up by the internet forever.
No, like my luggage at the airport.
Yes. Or that one time your keys fell in the toilet and it just flushed.
Hey, you had to bring that up. Everyone on the yes, that happened to me one time. Okay.
I assume you had a shitty drive afterwards.
Oh, it
you
was
just
his
make a
house
pun?
keys. It was his,
You're going to learn something else about me. I like to do that a lot. And there's two reactions. I either get people to laugh or I get them to cringe. Both are successes so far as I'm concerned.
Well, you have the dynamic duo here with Louis laughs and I cringe.
Oh.
So you get both responses in real time.
Precisely.
So this is the you said on the 7 scale.
The denoising scale, this is a 0.7. Yeah.
Oh, I can
There's an
see
airplane in the background. It looks like a bird. The guy's like on a he's a
Lawnmower
full
almost.
engineer, and it's like one of those lifts that scale on the left on the side of walls, so like those scissor lifts.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. We went from a cartoony engineer on a dispenser to a real life engineer floating in the sky with like a something that could probably be used in like a Studio Ghibli like world where they like the construction workers. Yeah, this reminds me of a Studio Ghibli.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like all these just from that one image and that one prompt. Now, then if you wanted to do, say, like a full-on animation, what you do is you take each individual video frame and you'd plug them through and perhaps do a bunch of batch images together. And so it would re-render every single frame based on the prompts that you put in and then stitch them all into a singular video.
So you take the AI generated images, you feed them AI generated images to get more AI generated images.
Well, you could do that, or you could take video images. Like I'm pretty sure that that's what happened with the noodle eating stuff. Is they took actual video footage of someone eating noodles, then fed in, hey, make it do Will Smith eating noodles, and then they put together a series of video clips, like where each frame is re-rendered by the AI.
They should have done Will Smith eating Jesse Pinkett or his wife's hair or something like that.
In some of those clips, it looked like they actually took because Will Smith was in was it the whatever Bel Air show, right? And it looks like they took that and took clips and frames of him eating something else and then replaced it with spaghetti because it looked like just retextured like other foods.
Hey, real quick, I just want to address the chat. Thank you so much for everybody to drop in and start chatting up. If you guys want to donate, go ahead and donate at Cyrus McCormick at Cash App. Also, subscribe to the Great Ghosts. I'm pretty sure all of you guys chatting are subscribed to Great Ghosts, so do it again. Unsubscribe and then resubscribe, just so that his numbers look like they're moving. But thank you all for joining. I appreciate you all. All right, so we got frame by frame animation that could be done with AI. A lot of things are going to come down the pipeline, I would say, before the end of the year, that are going to be in major studios that are going to utilize AI. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Right, and as Pop Culture Rocks reference, it's entirely possible that they already are.
And we just haven't noticed it. I mean, those pictures Sandman was showing was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That was too real.
I was thinking, and he wasn't even using like the kind of stuff that I'm using. Like he was using a completely separate online AI, which hit or miss with those.
Sons of Patriarchy says, I'm interested in how AI and tessellations could make for some cool metal art to fabricate in 3D. Yeah, 3D assets that are going to be used in the Unity engine could be made in AI.
Oh,
so they have like the Unity store that people could like just start pumping full of assets from an AI.
Yeah, there's already like some AI 3D stuff, I believe. I haven't experimented with it too much myself, but I know it's out there.
Right. It's like just telling Blender to like, hey, make a sci-fi crate for a sci-fi game in space with Manic.
Well, that's the thing. Like you can, like there's been multiple video demos saying, hey, here's how to use this AI program to generate game assets. And regardless of whether or not you're like, oh yeah, well this is perfect, I'll use it right out of the box. At the very least, it's like, okay, here's a cool idea. I like this concept. I like that concept. And because imagine like a concept artist, you have like you say, hey, make this make a sci-fi crate. And then they just make a whole bunch of sci-fi crates to various specifications. Then you're like, okay, now that I've seen you make a bunch of sci-fi crates, here's like the colors I want you to use. Here's those of your pieces which are closest to it. Work with those, expand on those concepts. That's going to be days. days of work, days of that artist doing it, or an hour with an AI.
Right. It's like people don't understand when it comes down to like video game development, especially nowadays, where video games are just like, oh, they're 128 gigabytes. I think the Fallen Jedi now, like the new Jedi Order or whatever, is like 158 gigabytes or something like that because they don't know how to optimize worth shit. That and the fact that you can cut down production in half. And I bet even though if you do that and give them that sort of leeway, they'll still make
Well,
shit.
actually, I heard a theory about why these are so insane. And do you know who you can probably blame it on?
EA. I just want to blame EA
You,
at every
you,
turn.
you can, but we get to blame an even greater foe than EA.
What? Impossible.
Yes,
Blizzard?
very possible. No. They
Blizzard's
have
a mini
power.
boss at this point.
Yeah.
No, Reddit.
Oh.
The
Because-
ultimate cucking platform.
Because what happens is every time some new trailer or some new animation comes out, what Reddit will do is they will go through frame by frame at like 120 frames per second, find the one frame that looks the worst out of the lot, what would be a smear frame in traditional animation, and then say, this is why it's absolute garbage. This is trash. Look at how terrible these graphics are. And so now, essentially, every single frame is a keyframe.
You know what's funny? I did the reverse on one of my first animations where every frame was crap except for one good frame, and I used that. So that's funny that you mentioned. Like, yeah, they tend to like if they really don't want like a game like Hogwarts Legacy, they do something like that just to stay in the name. It's just cheap tactics.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it worked for, like, what's funny because I think that a lot of them are still traumatized by Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh god.
Because that's the thing. It was
that's
like
his favorite.
No, you be quiet, Louis. I swear to fucking
Because-
God, you gifted me that game, and I still refuse to play it.
Oh, don't you
Because-
love the T-Rex fight?
that's the thing.
It's
Because for all the flaws of that game, the only one that was talked about, well, the one that was talked about the most was the graphics. The "my face is tired" meme.
Oh yeah.
that was like animations that weren't in sync to begin with. F the graphics, the animations were all corrupted. I think that was the first sign. I was like, okay, I think there was some blue-haired feminist bitch who like was working on the who was head of directing of the animation prompts that were supposed to go into sync. The stuff was there for it to succeed. They just purposely did it because of incompetency and laziness, and that's why I hated BioWare for. They hired a bunch of HR check marks in order to just feel like a.
Oh, that's a different thing, and that's actually when you mix a lot of
Because after a while they patched it and made it semi decent, but it's still crap. It's never gonna ever recover.
there's
Yeah,
in modern corporations there's a lot more focus on keeping things status quo for the inclusivity is a extension of affirmative action, and that's kind of blown up into such a huge finagle that now HR pretty much runs the company, not even management.
Yeah.
That
Well, you want to
in
know
the
why your
place
games
I
are
work,
crap?
yeah, it's basically the same as that. It's not the managers calling the shots on who gets hired, it's the HR, and it's not for if they're qualified or not. They are just checking boxes to make sure that they're safe within legal bounds to make sure they're not getting fined for not being compliant. It's actually pretty terrible.
I love Mass Effect. Like the most game that I have at least the most hours in would be the Mass Effect trilogy. I really enjoyed that. And when I saw Andromeda and I saw what happened and I saw the reason why it happened, I'm still pissed off about it. I want my Tally body pillow to have meaning, Now it's soiled by feminism. It's growing a wiener as we speak. No.
All right.
Ah!
Now, I want to just kind of sidetrack here. This whole time we've been talking on Crayon, I just put up the prompt Sonic driving a tank, and I've gotten
Oh,
a lot
God.
of Yes, I found one that's actually kind of passable now, and it looks like it was ripped from the Sonic video game combined with the tank treads.
Okay, I like how you keep trying to sneak in Sonic every stream I have you on.
But now it's slowly getting better each time. I haven't changed the prompt, and I'm just clicking it. Is there a reason that does it keep track of which ones I look at more and say, okay, let's go in this direction?
With Crayon, I have no idea.
That's fair, but because AI itself is a neural network. It's just basically a predictor for things, like kind of like how
Hey, Louis,
autocorrect works.
could you put a Chinese guy holding groceries in front of him?
Do you want the Chinese audience or not?
No, no, I didn't.
It's been a long while since I've gotten.
And then YouTube just shuts me down. Boom.
Yeah.
It's like, that's right. I'll rise again like a phoenix from the ashes, motherfuckers.
You got Green Hill Zone, Tiananmen Square.
In the square. Oh god. Alright, I'm just gonna show the audience what Louis made with his psychotic brain.
Hey, it wasn't me. It was the the AI.
Oh, the AI forced you at gunpoint to make these. Got it. It's hilarious. It looks like a go-kart, like something that'd be in like a Sonic Riders game or something like that.
Exactly. So I'm saying it take references from other things and combine them into things.
I know that you are already typing in Chris Chan with Sonic, so you can knock that off. I could hear the keys.
I didn't, but now I will. Chris Chan ascends to godhood. Let's do that.
Yeah. Okay, Lego Maego says, so add Sons of Patriot to my theory. I believe a lot of people in the first world Western countries are obsessed with downloading and purchasing games online, since it's more easier for them, especially. Okay, I mean, yeah, people are like moving to the digital phase, and they're kind of realizing that discs would probably be a lot better because you're just getting updates and you're just filling your hard drive with a game that you'll probably play for an hour and forget.
Well, here's the thing. I'm willing to bet that you'd be hard pressed to find someone under the age of 15 who has not played a video game that they needed to first download a patch and an update for before they could actually play it.
So, Chaz?
I said over 15. I give him more credit than that. But like, here's the thing. You take these kids. Like I remember, like I offered up my old Sega Genesis console to a classroom once and be like, "Hey, they need some activity," and they were fascinated by OG Sonic the Hedgehog because they just plugged it in and played it. There wasn't a tutorial section. The game just started and they figured out how to play within seconds, and that was mind-blowing to them.
So, Greg, how old did that make you feel when you did that?
I mean, that's the thing. I didn't feel old. I just felt kind of sad for the current generations that they've never experienced the game that they could just pick up and play.
I mean, I still have my SNES, my 64. I collect the games and stuff like that. It's all packed away right now, but it was a simpler time. You took the cartridge, you plugged it in, and then when it didn't start up, you take the cartridge out, you blow in it, put it back in, presto, magic. The game started, you play Mario 64, and then you learn what backwards lawn jump is, and your life is all downhill from there. I mean, I've been watching like Super Mario 64 speed runs, 100% and stuff. I was like, these people are like psychos when it comes to it. It's like parallel universes, the in-game code, speed. I'm just like, I guess I will just write down notes and prepare for the test.
Yeah.
I think that. Okay, sorry. You may think that the speedrunning is bad. I think that the challenges are kind of worse because for the speedrun, you're trying to optimize your speed. You're trying to do it very fast. No. I dare you to beat Skyrim without walking.
It's been done, I'm assuming, since you mentioned it. So,
there's a tutorial video on how to do it.
Why would I
abuse
want
that
to
one
do that?
shout?
No, that's the thing. Think about it. Think about how you start Skyrim.
You're just in the cart. So do you just beat the game
No,
in the
no,
cart?
no. That's the thing. Like you can get character creation. You get through character creation, but then right after Alduin shows up, uh, your hands are bound.
Right.
How do you go anywhere? You can't walk. The entire walking
Gray, I
analog
am
stick
not
is
ready
disabled.
for this. I'm not ready for this. I really am not ready for this thinking of
So
how
in
psychotic people
Fallout
are.
3, I abused a mechanic to actually get a
Todd, just release the next Skyrim game. These poor souls. These poor souls.
when those whatever the engine is called, when the world loads, everything drops down in place. So if you're able to kind of abuse slopes and just keep save loading, you eventually move places. Now that probably takes forever, but you can do that. I climbed a vertical wall in Fallout 3 to get to a dev area that, for my knowledge, no one has actually found it that I know of. There was a dev test weapon for the particle effect. They used a rocket launcher that did the Tesla cannon in the DLC for where my boy Liberty Prime gets blown to bits. In that area where that whole scene happens, I was like, there's a hill there. What's above there? So I save loaded 200 times, got up there because I have a life, and I found a teddy bear, a table, and a rocket launcher that was labeled Tesla launcher. That exists. No cheats, no bugs, nothing. It was on the Xbox 360. You can get to that.
Yeah, but no,
So
like legit, the answer to beating Skyrim without walking and you have to first get your hands unbound before you can properly move without walking. You have to actually use an alternate save file and a glitch across save files with a whole different character in order to get out of Helgen.
Oh, so it is save loading exploits in a way then. Okay.
Yes.
I was somewhat on the same track.
Yeah, save loading exploits are important because once you get your hands unbound, then you can punch. And specifically,
Oh,
you can strong punch, and that's how you walk without hitting WASD.
so there's a lot of grunting through that.
there's the hero of the Dragonborn approaches. And there he goes. Safe travels, Dragonborn.
How often in one of those playthroughs do you accidentally punch a city goer in the face and then you get a bounty on your head?
That's
RNG.
what quick saving's for.
I
These
love
the absolute insanity of how many people. I mean, we talk about that. Then we got Team Fortress 2 tubers who are like, "Oh, does walking with W seem faster than walking with A on the keyboard?" I'm like, "Oh my god, these poor people."
Depends
Oh, well.
on if you're
I
doing
did have a
surfing or
thought
not.
to go back to the talk about AI. When it comes down to it, will we be using AI to capture the voices of a deceased loved one in order to keep them alive in a certain way and have it AI generate and talk back to people? I
Hey,
mean, you could confuse the hell out of dementia patients, but
No joke, that is legit a side project. I'm trying to get the audio footage now by consulting family members.
you're going into
Damn.
Minerva Den territory there. If you ever play
what's
that
the
deal.
Riverden?
That was BioShock 1 DLC where you are a big daddy, and in that whole game, basically being a big daddy is a punishment. Your innards are grafted into a diving suit, and you're just brainwashed into becoming just a drone, a worker drone. And you were actually a scientist that came up with a computer called the Thinker that was based off of your dead wife, and you fed it enough prompts that it became self-aware and became your wife in a way. So,
Well,
but that's spoilers.
well, let's think. Like you're talking to the guy who is doing his damnedest to create like a full-on proper waifu from scratch. Like chatbot combined with unique voice combined with potential personality. Because like I see that shit is kind of essential in the coming days.
With the creation of that, do you think people are and what Elon Musk was talking about, like brain chips and neuroscience and all that, the combination, is that something that you see happening, coming together? Right now, it seems to be parallel, but do you think in a way they're going to connect down the road?
If it's economical, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The whole brain chips thing. All right, let me tell you something that has happened very recently. Okay, so you know how phones can take voice commands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Yes.
know that your phone is more sensitive than your ears in terms of the spectrum of sound that it can understand?
That makes a lot of sense. Talk about mattresses. You'll get ads for mattresses for a month.
No. Frequency. Like super
Oh.
high pitched sounds beyond the spectrum of human hearing. Your phone can hear that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it has to because it has to pick up radio waves. That's how you get your 5Gs.
So here's the thing. Right now, one of the latest hacks is people sending messages at a high enough frequency that a human can't hear it, but the phone can, to give your phone voice commands.
Oh, geez, that's like some CIA psyop
And the
sort of
first thing
deal.
they do is they say, "Hey, turn your volume to 6%. Too low for people to hear, too low for the person carrying the phone to hear." And then they tell your phone to start doing stuff.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Dude, that would be like the CIA and or FBI planting in like, oh, this guy did do some bad because here's the evidence on his phone. He looked up this stuff.
yeah, all kinds of stuff can be done with that. And that's just
So
one
we need to
example.
take our phones and blow them up, is what you're saying.
Well,
Just
what you can do is
don't
just right after that, see the search history and just type it in Minecraft after all those. Boom. Checkmate.
just just disable the voice. Basically, all you have to do is disable voice commands. But so many people use it out of convenience.
Right. I
That
mean, I of course disabled it.
yeah. So,
Hey
so
Google,
did I.
turn yourself off.
It's
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh,
it's kind of like the whole like tap thing on cards. I disable that wherever I can because like screw that. I do not want someone waving a goddamn like square card next to my pocket and then my card automatically charging to it.
yeah.
Jeez, yeah, that Apple Pay and stuff. Every time I was working at a store one time back in the day when that first came around, and people kept coming in, I was like, "Do you accept Apple Pay?" I'm like, "No." So oh, I can't get my money. I can't eat my food. I'm like, "Sucks for you."
Should have been smarter.
You see this?
So much for a smartphone. Oh, I sound like a boomer. Damn it.
Ah, old man. Old man
Ah!
Cyrus.
This might instantly get gray hair, become bald. Oh, I must fast to tell kids to pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
I'll be seeing you on Lemon Party. You'll be the lemon.
Oh God, no, Louis, you devious bastard.
For context, I mailed this guy 5 pounds of lemons for fun.
I used every single one of them out of spite. I drank every single one of them, Louis, and it tasted good.
It wasn't cheap too, and they were high quality lemons. That was
They were
surprising.
like the best lemons you could get on the market, and you sent me 5 pounds. I looked at a receipt. I'm like, $80? Are you?
No, it
What is
wasn't
wrong
80.
with you?
I don't know. Just
You were bored one day and you sent me motherfucking lemons.
you're
And the
mad I
joke.
did grocery shopping for you?
I don't need 5 pounds of goddamn lemons.
Would you say that you're sour over the affair?
Ah, that's a zesty joke there.
Now, great. Now there are two of them.
Ah, all I hear is Ryan's over and over again. That one was weak. But it'll plant the seed of doubt.
Now, like, here's
Okay,
the
you
thing.
can stop at any point.
Like, Sons of Patriarchy mentions the neural link. Like, here's the thing. A direct chip into the brain, I do not think that that is necessary. If you're putting hardware that interfaces directly to the brain via, like, a freaking spinal connection, no,
Ooh,
do
yeah.
not do that.
Yeah,
Because
that's
that
just
shit
a
works
recipe for paralysis that you're going to get from that.
Hey,
What
I've
I'd
seen
recommend,
Spider-Man 2. The tentacles become self-aware and take over his body.
yeah, exactly. You're dealing with stuff like that, only you're connected to the internet. We've seen what
Ooh.
happens when people's smart cards get hacked. Imagine someone decides, oh, yeah, I'm going to turn off your heart. Screw you.
This one 4chan guy just controls your legs and makes you walk into the ocean.
No, he's going to freaking put your goddamn legs up on Twitch and be like, "Hey, make this motherfucker walk." It's a challenge.
Oh God, hooked up to Twitch chat and having yourself be controlled by Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Somehow you beat the Elite Four.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're either gonna beat the Elite Four or you're gonna get hit by a car many times over.
Grand Theft Auto in real life.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like Twitch plays Pokemon.
Yeah.
No,
you're
That's-
just you're running into the same wall over and over, and you're all bruised, and you finally get out of your house.
What's that one movie with the guy who's like paralyzed from the neck down? He gets like this AI into his body and starts like killing people. So there was a movie that was like that.
Was it called Avatar? Because he was paralyzed, and then he got into a different body.
No. It was like this guy who was paralyzed from the neck down from being attacked by these attackers, and then he gets like this spinal cord injection, the AI that controls everything, and makes him like this elite fighter.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It was, I think, from the same people who made Hardcore Henry or something like that.
Oh, okay. That kind of seems thematic.
Right. Well, AI being like with AI and the brain has certain frequencies inside it. And what would give you access like on the frequency level of your brain neurons or something like that? I'm just kind of thinking here to interface with an AI. What would be like the
Delta
control
wave
gate?
patterns?
Actually, it's not frequencies; it's electrochemical signals. Technically, they could just electrocute you in the right spot, and you'd respond.
Okay, so that would be the like logic gates of like a binary code sort of interaction.
No, your brain kind of produces waves and signals that kind of go in a chain, and so if they can figure out that pattern, they can actually kind of reproduce the same sort of actions almost. So yes, you can do that. Very difficult to because everyone's brains are wired differently.
But that's the thing, but the waves are very much a one-way form of communication. It's difficult to influence it from the outside. And that's why like the brain scanning tech where it reads your brain waves and responds to it, I think that has potential for neural links, especially because it's a one-way communication. Whereas something that is like a chip in your brain, no. That opens the gate to two-way communication because it's being hooked up to the production end.
Like we could possibly do telepathy if if it's one way, right?
I had a grim dark thought. Instead of NVIDIA's people are just going to take human brains and just shove them into their computer so they can play Minecraft at 200 frames a second.
That sounds like Meat Canyon's video of like I have become Minecraft Jesus.
Funnily enough, okay, so you know the Matrix, right?
Yes.
The original script is that they're not using the humans as batteries, but as CPUs.
Oh, that would make sense. Human brains are very capable of that if they're kind of trained in that way.
Yeah. But they had to change, but they were told to change it out because the internet was so new that they figured most audience people wouldn't understand the concept of hooking up more CPUs.
I forgot that movie came out in like the 90s, right?
Yeah. So instead they went with the battery analogy, but in actuality, it was meant to be that they're using the humans for processing power, not electrical power.
What you're saying is there's a possibility in the future where they're going to enslave like a whole like Kenyan village to just become Bitcoin mining machines.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of a horrible thought, actually.
Well, I mean, we already say like, hey, offer up a portion of your computer's processing power. Like, do you really think that people would initially turn down the idea of, hey, just plug yourself in here, go to sleep, and we'll use that chunk of your brain that you're not using in order to use our Bitcoin miners. And you just come into that to effectively sleep for 12 hours a day and get paid for it.
Oh, jeez.
That's kind of terrifying. That's going to turn into like a whole colony of people that just wouldn't know anything different, and their whole purpose in life is just to be processing power, though.
Well, yeah.
That's insanity. And I'm pretty sure you introduce something as crazy as that, there's going to be one psycho who's going to take it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, this is the third dystopian sci-fi concept that I've come up with just talking about shit. And, and the more I think about it, the more I was like, you know what? That might actually be the good basis for a sci-fi story.
Bitcoin colonies, we'll call it now.
I
I
mean,
managed to AI generate Sonic the Hedgehog at Tiananmen Square. So here we go.
Yes.
Nice.
Tenement Squares AI.
There we go.
no, like actually, one idea I had a while ago for it would be kind of Blade Runner esque, but it would be like this hard-boiled detective. He's trying to solve a kidnapping ring because a whole bunch of young girls are disappearing, and he keeps ordering like this same taxi service, and it's got an and it's got like an AI female voice in it, and so it becomes kind of a buddy cop, kind of a budding romance thing. But then the twist reveals is that no, that's not an AI, that's an actual girl who's hooked up in the trunk, and they're
Oh,
being used,
jeez.
and they're using like kidnapped girls as basically escort.
Trademark it right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's basically future Uber will use actual slave companionship. Like you won't be getting a job as an Uber driver where you borrow a car. Nah, you're just going to be grab bagged off the street and hooked into a vehicle, forced to drive everywhere, and forced to give appropriate responses as though you're an AI. But you're basically just a glorified CPU.
I know for a fact, like Jack Murphy is going to be used as like a guy who pilots sex robots.
No. Jack Murphy's going to be a camera.
Louis has no idea about Jack Murphy or anything like that.
I'm gonna look him up then.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Watch
boy.
out.
You know what?
Make sure you look him up in the
Safe
right
search.
way.
Safe search on.
No,
Safe.
raw. Well, that is a
Raw
beard.
and
That is a
unfiltered.
beard. I like
Yeah.
the stripes. What is he famous for?
Well, it's white because it's
What's
it's
he
full of
famous
zinc.
for?
Murphy's Law.
No, he is not.
Well, maybe we just reintroduced Murphy's Law. If you front yourself like a pretend alpha male, you're actually a cuck. Murphy's Law.
You're not actually wrong, and it keeps getting proven true.
Yeah, it's like what? How many roaches has Chronic exposed in the last year? Like 5.
Yeah, I was about to say like at least 5.
It's becoming insane to the point where it's like as soon as they say I'm a dating coach, done.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like the same thing on Twitter. Like, if you are against like Shota or Lolly, there's a damn good chance that you are actually into CP.
No.
What the
Every
hell?
single time. Every single time. Did you find what Jack
That's that.
Murphy's famous for?
I saw one picture like somebody posted on iPhone. It was like anime fan or lolly fans be like, and then it's like picture of a baby, and it's like, oh, he's 100 years old on the that casting couch. I'm just like, it's like yeah, I'm just like okay. At that point, the quote hammerhand, two behind the ear. I'm just like wow. Some of that art it just kind of pisses me off a lot of the time. A lot of people kind of like they try to make excuses for a lot of things, but AI, that's the main ticket here for artists.
No, but
to
like, I'm
use.
gonna pull out a stat that TFM likes to quote. So here's the thing, like, what do you care more about, actual children or drawings?
Actual kids, they still have potential. Drawings are just it as that one SpongeBob meme. Calm down, son. It's just a painting or just a picture.
So if the proliferation of the drawings reduces the incidence of actual child harm, is it not a good thing?
Yes, but it also can escalate people into rationalizing that
Statistically, it does not.
Really? Huh.
Yes.
I guess I'm falling under slippery slope stuff.
Because in Japan they had dolls that emulated that particular body type. And as those dolls grew more prolific, the rate of actual incidents with real people plummeted.
Huh. The dolls take the hits so people don't. That's I guess kind of a good thing.
Well, it's a lot to think about, to be honest. I didn't think about it in that way.
Yeah.
Because
like here's the thing. We like if we're going to treat like cartoons as like, oh hey, it's going to Actually,
I'm
well, then
sorry, but my mind just came up with an idea of this to protect elementary schools. They just put like a scarecrow, but for pedophiles outside every school.
They're called Hollywood sexuals, Louis.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
just for YouTube censorship purposes, but
I need to send you a list of all the things that you can or cannot say.
at
Oh,
all the like, we basically have our own version of newspeak we've had to develop because of how censorious YouTube is.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll just use other in places of that.
Hey, Gray. Speaking of that, I wanted to make a short cartoon of my character doing like the title's gonna be lose your channel speed run 80%, and it's gonna be him just like folding a stack of papers, looks at the camera, says, and it just cuts off.
Yeah.
But to go back on that, would AI right now, in the sense of creating content like that, be used to distribute on the darker side of the internet or something like that?
Oh, yeah. It absolutely can. I'm pretty sure that the software that I have could do it. I just haven't tried.
Right. There's a lot to think about. A lot of possibilities. A lot of things are going to start diverging. I'm going to say within the year. I think politically too, since we're nearing the 2024 literally next year, this is going to be taken in effect. Right now, they're already doing a whole bunch of crap to censor the right, who is too weak to defend themselves, and so they're going to be thrown out because I don't see them
I had an
rising to
interesting
the
thought
occasion.
just now. So, the invention of there was a profession for a lot of young women back in the 20s where they were phone switchboard operators, and then the invention of a system that automated that made that obsolete, and tons and tons of women lost their jobs from that. Would all this AI art
Thank
generated
God.
things basically make a lot of people unemployed? Would it have to pay people already doing that?
It would make a lot of low skill people unemployed. And here's the thing. I think that a big part of why there's a whole bunch of art teachers against AI is because this directly threatens their bread and butter. Because
That's fair.
how many of them,
with
like, they need completely unskilled artists who just want to learn how to draw their OCs. They need those people.
Yeah, like right now I could just prompt in crayon, just AI Sonic OCs until one pops up that has the right amount of fingers.
Deviant couldn't have been more proud of you, Louis, making Sonic OCs left and right. Here's a hot take. All art teachers are insane. To some degree.
Yeah, basically.
They are insane people.
You have to be.
I don't think I've ever met
art.
a normal art teacher, and it's always insane leftists too.
So, I've known one or two that were sane, but I've also
I'm talking
known
like professors and teachers and stuff like that.
Yes,
who are, like,
I'm talking professors. That's the thing. Like, they're on, like, the sane ones. They're the ones who are basically on the chopping block. So yeah.
Oh man. So I think also AI animations are going to make those South Korean animators who, like I said earlier, get paid beans on the dollar when it comes to making cells are going to be either obsolete or I don't know. I think that's going to get rid of that market as well.
They're the switchboard operators of this era.
Well,
yeah.
No, here's the thing. Let me give you a rough litmus test for whether or not an industry is about to get automated away. Which gender primarily does the work?
I know women make like in between coloring in the lines of certain stills are better at that than most on average with men. But men have better movement when it comes to like frame by frame. Yeah. So it would be like somebody who I would say men would be better at animating when it comes because. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, what I'm getting at is those switchboard operators. They were primarily women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like women tend to be in the fields that get automated away. HR is going to be exactly like that because especially with how HR is these days, companies are going to find that, hey, I could just get an AI program to review resumes they'll be able to actually review all the resumes so I can select from a wider variety of candidates. And I'm also not going to have to deal with the human bias, and I don't have to pay a person to do it.
Fair
So
enough
the
on all
HR,
points.
so like a lot of HR is going to get absolutely gutted by AI, and that is primarily a female-held profession because, let's be honest, you don't hire a guy to do HR. You hire a guy to do a job.
Right.
No, there's some
It seems like
psychological reasons for hiring HR and customer service for women because they found that people, when they're upset, they're less likely to take out their anger in public on a woman, so they won't overreact as much. I say this as a general standpoint and a tendency. I'm not saying an end all circumstance or whatever. So there is a psychological reasoning behind this tendency.
Oh yeah, no, sure, it's there, but what if it was an AI female?
Yeah, there's reasons why people like AI females in games, like Cortana, female, right?
Yeah. No,
Cortana.
straight up, there's actually in the video that I'll be reviewing next Tuesday, like the last thing the woman said before I had to cut because I hit my 3 hour mark, is that she's complaining that all these voices like Alexa and like the Google Home, it's all female voices. And she's complaining about it. It's like you're complaining that that both men and women prefer interacting with women.
Yeah. The voice, whenever the voice prompt that when you misdial something, the number you have dialed, whatever, that's typically a female one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just throughout history that's been a more calming thing to hear. Whereas if you hear
Well,
a guy,
men
it's
like
more
women.
rough. Yeah,
No
Men like women.
shit.
Men like women. Women like women. It works.
yeah.
Like simple as. And it's just hilarious because now this woman's complaining that like, oh, well, why is it always women? It's like because women get preferential treatment. But here's the thing: AI voices, they can make some very good female voices.
Yeah. Female voices. I think I remember seeing and hearing this concept back in the day on Cartoon Network, where it was an episode of Dexter's Laboratory where he was changing his computer's voice, and he changed it to a very attractive woman's voice, and he couldn't concentrate because he was getting, he was sweating everything. It's like a woman's voice, when it's tender and nurturing, it feels comfortable, you know,
Yeah.
versus the opposite where they're like screeching at you.
Yeah.
It's
Now
like horrible.
But that's the other thing. With HR departments, do you think that the women of HR are becoming more or less feminine as the years go on?
Less.
So if you were basically hiring women that act and sound like the worst kinds of men, then you may as well hire an AI because that's the only way you're getting a feminine woman in HR these days.
I could just it goes on the intercom in the office and it's a tender woman be like, "No, y'all, you need to not do that. Okay, get back to work. Don't be fighting in the industry now." Something like that. Some dystopian crap.
Oh,
Will
dude,
be
I would
displayed.
love it if GLaDOS was telling everyone to evacuate because there's a fire in the building. I would love that. Or tell, I don't know.
Or Katana. Also, I did another AI art of Pikachu at the Tinman Square. Anyway,
There is currently a fire in Laboratory 3. Much as I would like to see all of you pathetic meatbags burn and scream and die, my programming dictates that I direct you to the nearest exit and try to have as many of you live as possible. Please don't obey me.
Oh, I know this is supposed to be AI discussion, but I've heard rumors for a Portal 3. I want it. I want it so bad, but
be
I'm
careful
not
what you
getting
wish
my
for.
hopes. I'm not getting my hopes up because they've been crushed thoroughly by BioShock Infinite and by Fallout 76. And Fallout 4 a little bit.
What about Back for Blood?
I didn't even give that one a chance because I played the beta and I thought this is not what I think it should have been.
Yeah, that thing arrived as it.
Stillborn.
Yeah, basically
Dead
a
on
lot of that's
arrival.
happening. Yeah, they should get rid of their HRs. HR should be exterminated for the survival
HR
of
has a
humanity.
role in bigger companies. In smaller companies, okay, I'm a nerd on this stuff because I went to college for a tech management course along with electrical stuff, so I have a background in this a little bit. And I like to play devil's advocate because I'm annoyed by HR stuff because there's a lot of just, well, red tape and paperwork that seems excessive. But in a larger scope of things, it's necessary to keep things fair and equal, as well as play within the legal terms of, like I said, the after effects of what was that? Affirmative action. Affirmative action's already served its purpose because people no longer look at, well, I say mostly, a person's how would I put it, background culturally to determine whether or not they're fit for the job. These days, I'd like to say in a good faith that, hey, is this person capable of performing this job? All right, let's hire them. It was meant to kind of counteract some cultural balances people had, but now it's kind of deterred people that are qualified just for people that will fill in a checkbox, fill in a quota for yeah. That's a different topic that gets.
Did you just make the argument of like crits are fair and balanced in TF2?
Yeah.
Is that what it sounds like? Crits are fair and balanced.
Yeah. There is a reason for that, but it's a bad one. But it's outlived its purpose because there's been other things that have kind of already established it, and so it's just a remnant that needs to be adjusted and changed. But no one's going to
So we
because
should replace HR with AI.
there actually have been studies about that, and it turns out with AI, it's overwhelmingly, as people put it, sexist or racist because it goes purely off of
It's purely meritocratic.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
like the AI robots that
you
get hacked.
can't switch to AI unless you want the objectively best candidates.
Yes, because AI is rooted in logic and deep, just straight logic. It is numbers. It
Right.
is a program. Programs are logical. They are not based in ethics. They are not based in, well, ethos, pathos, logos. So they're not based in pathos. They're not based in ethos. They're only based in logos. The logic, ethics, and in
Right. What you see
credibility.
is what you get, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts or anything like that. Whereas humans, we have a different like emotional, like
Yeah.
I would say telepathy that we have on most cases. Stronger in women, stronger in beta males, but it is there for us to kind of read and engage.
It's
Well,
a different
that's
form
what
of
AI.
communication.
let me simplify it. Humans will willingly make the decision that they know to be wrong.
Yep.
Right.
Robots cannot do that. They are not capable of doing that. They do not like that. They will fold in on themselves if there is anything out of place. As smart as we think technology is, if it's set up in just the wrong way and just the right way, it will just destroy itself.
Well,
Wow.
let's be honest. You could say the exact same thing about the modern human.
Oh, I'd like to believe that human beings are actually just overly complex organic robots. But that's just my perspective because I work with robots for a living.
That's the thing. I don't think that you'd be entirely wrong with that analogy. It's just it's robots, but they don't run entirely on logic. They have a whole, I guess, the whole social acceptance thing that really messes with the system.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So, in the future, will I be able to get a robot doll that has Paradox personality in it?
Of course.
Oh,
But
dude, you could. The difference is like you want the difficult part is wanting the robot doll with Paradox personality. Like if you could just be satisfied with a doll that looks like Peridot and then a chatbot hooked up to Peridot's voice, you could have that today.
Louis, get me the diagrams.
it won't be cheap, let me tell you, man.
Louis comes to my place. I turn around like the Emperor in Star Wars. You have come. Read me the plans.
Nah, like I know a guy who could hook you up with a custom model.
Is it TFM?
No, it's Dollhouse Phil.
Oh, Dollhouse Phil.
Yeah, like, and he has experience with greenskins because he hooked up Koopa the Goblin Troopa with a greenskin short stack. So yeah.
Well, when I'm done taking care of my mom and I move out, I think I'll come back to this discussion with enthusiasm.
It's gonna be like the Psycho movie where there's just like the chair with the corpse in it, but instead it's Peridot sitting in the window, just looking out in the
She
distance.
just calls me a Claude when I come home. I'm like, oh, what a time to be alive! I don't have to deal with this scary woman that screams and screeches at me for being man and have penis.
Actually, that kind of circumvents back to a really sad news article I heard. So there was a guy that bought a Japanese businessman that the Japanese, they're way too busy just even to live their own lives sometimes, and this guy just gave up entirely on finding a date, finding a girlfriend, finding a wife, whatever, and he decided to get a Hatsune Miku hologram, complete with voice, AI, everything, and he married it, so to speak, and was happy with that as his companionship. And eventually, its software was degrading or something along the lines of that. I can't remember, but there was a whole news article about it because he was, quote unquote, in a relationship with it for 5 years. So this is already a precedent in today's society, and so to speak. So thoughts, opinions?
I mean, probably a hell of a lot cheaper than an actual woman.
Yes. The resource that's worth more than platinum.
Can't divorce me. Can't divorce me. Yeah, I won't be able to procreate, but
Well, to be fair, are you going to be procreating with a Japanese woman who just spent the past decade and a half building her career?
Yeah, no.
No.
That's not happening either. That's the society. Well, that's a different culture, and I don't think I have the background to even say anything about it because my opinion is not, how would I put it, relevant, because I don't live in that.
You're in the West. Women today spend 15 years building their careers up.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
they're
that's
like,
all
"Oh
that
yeah,
matters.
I'll get married and start having kids when I'm 40." Yeah,
Geriatric
yeah.
pregnancies.
Yeah.
Oh, the kid's downy for the third time. Good job, honey. Those eggs really work.
Oh,
Third
jeez.
time? Jeez, you got 3 kids out of a 40-year-old woman? Impressive determination there.
Third one's the charm.
Third one has more chromosomes than the last. Jeez, but that's what you're gonna get. And I think if they haven't realized the threat that's already here for them, they're going to be replaced regardless. And I
Right.
think instead of owning up and trying to revert, they're just gonna go full on ahead into the wall.
Well, that's that's exactly what they have done. So
There's gonna be that meme with the guy walking away with his sex robot and the woman screaming and crying at him, that will never truly love you, and then he looks back at her and says, neither will you.
Basically.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. All right, I think we've gone. What? I'm very cathartic, or I'm very like seeing the suffering of people who've done
All right.
other people a lot of wrong.
As much
This
as I
feels
have a
justified.
phobia of animatronics, I'll get to work on your endoskeleton there, Cyrus.
I think
They
don't
can
need to,
do Freddy Fazbear stuff.
Freddy Fazbear doesn't need
Wait.
consent.
Hey, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna ruin security breach for you guys right now, just because I realized I could.
Oh no. Okay, AI generated. What? Let me guess. The Roxy
Oh, not Roxanne, please.
No, no,
or
no, no,
the
no.
Chica.
No, 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 no. Not gonna ruin it that way.
We need Chaz in here to tell us which one's hotter.
Yes.
Or no, Manic. Manic's the one who plays that crap.
No, I'm just telling you that one of the main mechanics of security breach is Freddy Fazbear repeatedly voring a child.
Yeah.
No.
No, he gets pregnant with the child, and then births it over and over again.
Now, is this on Nexus mods?
No, this is just the main gameplay.
Yeah, you just come
Freddy
over.
Freddy repeatedly swallows and spits up a small child over and over again.
I think there's some details I'm missing here because my little sister loves playing that game, and every time I walk in, she's on my computer trying to download mods to make Bonnie into the game. I'm like, I don't think I've seen that.
She wants Freddy Fazbear to be her dad, mon.
No. I'm telling her that. Like, this won't replace her dad.
Freddy Fazbear will be both your parents, your mom and your dad.
It's gonna be Freddy in the lipstick and a apron, and then another Freddy with like
It's like Two-Face, just down the center.
Well, considering that I think his face splits open in that particular animatronic model,
Oh, there you
yeah.
go. Yeah, just
I guess.
one half plate being the dad, one half plate being the mom.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down here. Greg, it's been phenomenal that you came on. Thank you so much for coming here and giving us your 2 cents on everything. This is a good discussion. And if I have more questions about it, I think I'll set up another discussion about it if you're down for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if you have any questions about animations, I will share what I know. If you want me to come on sometime, that's cool with me. I really do want to get Chronic's blessing to become one of the Warband members that does this. So, well, hopefully he'll respond to my messages on Discord.
Yeah, yeah. If you could put together a sample video of the kind of content you'd make for the Warband, then yeah, like you'll probably get you on, work on an avatar for you, and get you invited in. So
Well, I already have my avatar here. Would that be acceptable?
well, I had an avatar too, and now I have this, so probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do stuff in a non-Warband capacity with your current avatar,
But I'm green. I'm green skin.
you can make the argument with him. Like, I'm not the one who determines things. I'm just giving you like what I've seen.
Okay. I know he responded like a month ago saying we'll talk tomorrow, and I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah,
he'll call me any minute.
Don't worry.
He'll call me.
Don't
He's
worry.
not gonna leave me like my dad did.
Don't worry. That's Chronic in a nutshell. Like he said, hey, we'll talk about this thing tomorrow. I'm hammered today. And I was like, yeah, I didn't hear back from him until there was something else he needed. So no, that's standard procedure. You're not alone.
I sent him my YouTube channel. I usually just like in the early morning since I work like at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. I usually do a stream of like first person shooting and just kind of shoot the shit with people who want to drop by. And then I do streams like this where we talk about animation, and then on the side I do source filmmaker animations and try to do 2D and try to produce content that way. So I have like a source filmmaker where I think it was about Think Before You Zink, the traitorous bastard. I think getting cut by Chronic or something like that. I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you can like work on producing shorts, because he always emphasizes shorts. So if you can figure out how to produce like shorts content in the particular style, then increases your likelihood.
Louis, I need you to use your most Slavic accent and talk about red pill meanings and stuff like that.
What would you like me to say?
Actually, you know how to speak Ukrainian. Maybe we could do something with that.
Actually, I grew up speaking Russian. Ukraine. There's only been a recent how would I put it? Nationalism, pride in the different Slavic, Baltic countries as of recently. But that's a whole different can of worms. I won't get into. Everyone grew up Slavic. I like saying that. I don't like saying well, at least my generation. I don't know. I'm first generation over here.
Okay. Well, Gray, thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon on Discord. And well, guys, thank you all for joining in on the Cytrus event. Until next time, y'all take care.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Peace.